Hi, I'm Seanna Asper, one of the owners of Prospera Strategy, a boutique CPA firm that provides bookkeeping, tax planning, and tax prep to small businesses. Today I'm going to walk through how you fill out the form W-9. So I'm going to talk about it from the basis of different business entity types. So I'm going to start with the sole proprietorship. So if you've decided to go into business as yourself, John Smith, and you don't have any sort of entity status, so you didn't set up an LLC or a corporation, then this is going to be how you fill out the form W-9. On line 1, you're going to put your name, John Smith, and then in line 2, if you have a DBA, so you've set up some sort of trade name, you would put that here. So let's say he owns ABC Cleaners, he would put that here. If you are simply just doing business as your name, just you leave line 2 blank. Then down in box 3, you are going to check the box for individual sole proprietor. You're going to fill out your address information here. You don't have to put the requester name in, and typically there aren't any exemptions, but if you feel like those apply, definitely look at that and fill that part out. Then I want to talk about part 1, where it has a taxpayer identification number. So this is the area that we see most commonly filled out incorrectly. So even if you have an employer identification number from the IRS, in this box as a sole proprietor, you are going to fill out your social security number. Okay, you're not going to put in your EIN, even if you have one. That's an important thing and something that, again, is not filled out correctly most of the time. Okay, so that's it for a sole proprietor. I'm going to now jump into an LLC, and the way that you fill this out as an LLC owner depends on your ownership status and your tax status. So first, let's say that you're an LLC owner and you are the sole owner and you have not made any sort of election to be taxed as a corporation. You are going to fill this out slightly different than if you had made that tax status election as an S Corp or a C Corp. So in this line 1, you will fill out your name. So again, John Smith. And then in line 2, you will put the LLC name. So let's say it's ABC Cleaners LLC. That would go in line 2. Then in box 3, it is going to be checked as individual sole proprietorship. So even though you're an LLC, you're a disregarded entity, so we're going to check the box for individual sole proprietorship. Again, you're going to fill out boxes 5 through 7 with your address. And then down in part 1 for the taxpayer identification number, you're going to put your social security number. So again, I know that as an LLC, you've gotten an EIN to set up your bank account and all the other things, but you are not going to use that here if you are taxed like a sole proprietor. You're still going to put your social security number in this box and leave the EIN blank. And then you'll sign and date. However, if you are an LLC that has made the election to be taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp, this is going to be filled out a little bit differently. So in line 1, you will fill out your LLC name. So from our example, ABC Cleaners LLC will go in line 1. And unless you have a DBA, like a trade name, you'll leave line 2 blank. Then in box 3, you will check the box for LLC, and you will put your tax status here. So let's say you've made the election to be taxed as an S Corp. You will put an S here, and then you will fill out your address. And then down in the taxpayer identification area, you will put your EIN in, and then sign and date. This process is very similar if you are an LLC taxed as a partnership. So if you have more than one owner of the LLC, you will put the LLC name in line 1. You don't have to fill out line 2 unless you have a DBA that you're operating under, and you will check the box for LLC. And over here, you will put a P for partnership. And again, put your address and put your EIN in. So a little bit different based on your tax status. You've got to pay attention to that piece. And I will walk through how you'll fill this out as a corporation and then kind of talk about when you should be receiving a 1099, when you should not. So if you are a corporation, so you were set up as ABC Cleaners Inc., to just continue our example straight through, you will put ABC Cleaners Inc. in line 1, and then in line 2, you don't have to fill anything out unless you have a trade name that you operate under. Then in box 3, you will check your corporation status. So if you're a C Corp or an S Corp, you'll check the box for that. You'll again fill out your address, and then in the taxpayer identification number area, you will put your EIN, sign and date. So that gives your clients the information that they need to know whether to issue a 1099 to you or not. So 1099s are needed when someone is taxed as a sole proprietorship, not when they're taxed as a corporation. And so that individual reporting needs to occur. And then we also have dollar amount limits. So for 2025 and prior, the limit is if you pay someone $600 in a year via check, cash, Zelle, then they need to have a 1099 for the amount that you paid them. If you paid them via PayPal or Venmo or credit card, then that amount does not need to be reported because those 1099s are issued by the payment processor. But again, that does not hold for Zelle because Zelle is basically like an ACH payment processor. That amount is changing in 2026, and we're all very excited about that. So that amount in 2026 goes up to $2,000. So again, if you are taxed as a sole proprietor or a partnership, you should get a 1099 for the services that you provide to clients when they pay you over $600 in 2025 and prior, and that amount goes up to $2,000 in 2026. So again, that's for services, not for products. So I know there are quite a few rules there. I'm not going to get too much into the specifics of that here. I really wanted to walk you through how to fill out the form W-9, and we will do another video that's kind of talking about who should get a 1099 and who should not. I hope this was helpful. Please reach out if you have any questions.